No. One, embrace challenges as opportunities. Life often presents us with situations that test our patience, strength, and understanding. These challenges can appear in many forms: delays, disappointments, unexpected changes, or personal struggles. At first, they may feel like obstacles standing in our way. But from a Stoic perspective, each challenge carries within it the chance to grow and to strengthen the qualities that truly define us. The Stoics believe that it is not the event itself, but our response to it that determines its value. For example, being caught in traffic can become a lesson in patience. Facing criticism may allow us to practice humility and self-control. Experiencing loss or failure can teach us resilience and courage. When we begin to see challenges as opportunities for practicing virtue, they stop being roadblocks and instead become stepping stones. This perspective requires a shift in how we look at difficulties. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This simple change in thinking transforms frustration into growth. It is not about pretending hardships are pleasant, but about recognizing the hidden value they bring to our character. Embracing challenges also means staying present. It is easy to be consumed by worry about what might happen next. But the Stoic way teaches us to focus on what is within our control in this moment. By handling each difficulty calmly and thoughtfully, we build a steady foundation that prepares us for future tests. Ultimately, challenges are not meant to break us. They are invitations to practice patience, wisdom, and strength. Each time we respond with clarity and purpose, we take one step closer to self-mastery. In this way, even life's difficulties contribute to a more meaningful and resilient life. No. To value ideas over wealth. When we think about wealth, most people imagine possessions, money, or status. Yet the Stoics remind us that real wealth is not found in material things, but in the richness of our thoughts, our values, and the ideas we share with the world. Material possessions are temporary; they can be gained or lost. But ideas, once nurtured and lived, have the power to guide us, inspire others, and remain long after material wealth fades. History shows that the individuals who shaped the world most meaningfully were not always the richest in material terms. Instead, they were people whose ideas offered wisdom, direction, or innovation. From the reflective writings of Marcus Aurelius to the contributions of modern thinkers, their value came not from what they owned, but from what they understood and shared. Their influence continues because ideas endure. So how can we apply this principle in our own lives? It begins by shifting focus away from accumulation and towards creation. Instead of asking, "What can I gain?" we might ask, "What can I contribute?" This change encourages us to develop insights, creativity, and thoughtful actions that hold lasting value. This does not mean rejecting money or resources. They are useful tools, but they are not the final measure of a meaningful life. A balanced approach sees wealth as a support, not as the goal itself. True fulfillment comes when we use our resources to think deeply, act wisely, and share ideas that uplift and improve the lives of others. By valuing ideas over wealth, we invest in something that grows with us, cannot easily be taken away, and has the potential to leave a lasting impact. In this way, our thoughts become our greatest treasure, one that enriches both our own lives and the lives of those around us. No. 3. Create your own path. One of the most valuable lessons from Stoic philosophy is the idea of creating your own path. While many events in life are beyond our control, our choices, actions, and attitudes remain fully within our reach. By focusing on what we can shape, we take responsibility for the direction of our lives and live with greater purpose, creating. Your own path does not mean rejecting society or ignoring responsibilities. Instead, it means living in alignment with your values, rather than simply following expectations set by others. For example, you might ask yourself, am I pursuing this career because it reflects my passions and principles, or because it is simply what others expect of me? Questions like these help us clarify whether our actions reflect our true priorities. Once we gain this awareness, the next step is courage to make choices that may be unconventional, uncertain, or challenging. At times, choosing a path true to yourself may involve stepping away from familiar routines. The Stoics remind us that our worth is not determined by approval or recognition, but by the integrity of our actions and the consistency of our character. Another important part of creating your path is adaptability. Life is never fixed, and circumstances will change. By being open to learning and adjusting, we ensure our direction remains meaningful and relevant. Stoics such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius emphasized lifelong learning, reminding us that growth is a continuous process. Finally, building your own path is not only about personal fulfillment, it is also about considering how your choices contribute to the well-being of others. A meaningful path balances personal values with responsibility to the wider community. In this way, we create a life that is not only authentic to ourselves, but also beneficial to those around us. For adapt to change with calmness change. It's one of the few things in life that we can always expect. Some changes come gradually, while others arrive without warning. The Stoics remind us that since change is unavoidable, our best response is not resistance, but calm adaptation. By learning to adjust with clarity, we protect our peace of mind and continue moving forward with purpose. A key Stoic teaching is the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Our actions, thoughts, and judgments are within our influence. The choices of others, the passage of time, are many. External events are not. When we focus on what is truly ours to shape, we become less troubled by what lies outside our reach. This mindset allows us to meet change with steadiness rather than anxiety. Adapting with calmness does not mean being passive. It means responding thoughtfully instead of reacting hastily. Imagine facing an unexpected setback at work or in personal life. Instead of resisting reality or becoming overwhelmed, a Stoic approach would be to ask, what is the most reasonable step I can take now? This question guides us toward constructive action while keeping unnecessary stress aside. The Stoics also used nature as a guide. Just as seasons shift and rivers flow, life constantly transforms. By aligning ourselves with this natural rhythm, we learn that change is not something to fear, but a condition that encourages growth. Each shift in circumstance offers us a chance to practice patience, resilience, or wisdom, ultimately adapting. To change with calmness is about building inner stability. When we accept change as part of life and respond with composure, we become like a steady rock in moving waters, shaken, yet flexible, grounded, yet able to adjust. In this way, change becomes not an enemy, but a teacher. 5. Reflect for personal growth. Reflection is a central part of personal growth. The Stoics encouraged regular self-examination as a way to live more deliberately and to ensure that our actions are consistent with our values. By pausing to look back at our choices, emotions, and responses, we create space to learn and to improve. Self-reflection is not about criticizing ourselves harshly. Instead, it is about asking meaningful questions. Why did I respond in that way? Was my decision guided by patience, wisdom, or fairness? What can I do differently next time? These questions help us notice patterns in our behavior and remind us that growth comes from awareness. The Stoics often practiced what they called an evening review. At the end of the day, they would calmly recall the events that had taken place. Rather than dwelling on mistakes, they viewed this as a chance to understand what went well and what could be improved. This simple practice can help us close each day with clarity and begin the next one with a sense of direction. Another important part of reflection is focusing on progress rather than comparison. Instead of measuring ourselves against others, the Stoics suggest asking, am I living better today than I did yesterday? This mindset keeps our attention on steady growth rather than external competition. It encourages patience and self-acceptance. While motivating us to continue improving, reflection also helps us appreciate the temporary nature of life. Recognizing that both successes and struggles are fleeting allows us to value each moment more deeply. Gratitude grows naturally when we see how every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes to our development. By making reflection a regular practice, we build self-awareness, strengthen our character, and move closer to living in alignment with wisdom and virtue. In this way, reflection becomes not only a tool for personal growth, but also a guide for a more meaningful life.